What's up? What's up? Ooh, I got some internet. Ooh, I got some internet. 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 Ooh, I got it. I got it. I got the internet. Do you have some internet? Do you have some internet? Could you share your internet? Could I have it for free? Isn't that weird how Netflix can... Wait, was it Netflix? Yeah, Netflix can buy Warner Brothers. Straight up purchase it. But they can afford Warner Brothers. They can't afford for us to share our passwords. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting take. It's an interesting take. Interesting take. You have an interesting take, Netflix. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot about. If you want a lot. Did you hear Donald Trump say this?
Russia wants to see Ukraine succeed.
What? They do? Why would they go to war with them? Why would they invade them? Interesting. Puzzling. Anyways, I don't expect much from people on the Epstein list. Well, unfortunately, we got to listen to him because he's the president. You know what I mean? Not my president, but maybe your president. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. This is where we... Oh, cripes. What do? Comment on the news. From a working class socialist, want people to do well and not have to go fund me and raise money on crowdfunding sites to afford their treatments or medical diagnoses, cures, and such. Do you remember Miss Carolina? Whichever one, south or north, I don't care, west or east. And she said, and such. We gotta find that clip. What was that? Miss something Carolina. Miss Carolina. And such. Speech. Because that was a gem. Miss Teen USA 2007, South Carolina. Oh, this is...
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is? I personally believe.
What's up? Hi, 715. What's up, Duffy? I personally believe and such.
U.S. Americans are...
U.S. Americans. United States Americans. We're listening to a classic, 2007. Miss Carolina, Miss Teen USA. I wonder what she's doing now. You know, almost 20 years later. I think the internet needs to check in with Miss Carolina.
Are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries.
I don't know about you, but I think that was a perfect answer. Such as. How should I have started that?
I
personally believe that was a perfect answer. Some people have critiques about it. Some people have mocked her. I thought it was a perfect answer. Was the question, has the American school system failed us? Was that the question? Oh, no, she said U.S. Americans couldn't identify America on a map. Why do you think? Oh, so maybe that's the wrong answer to that question. But if the question was, should we invest in the school system and really cherish education for our children? And then Miss Carolina, Miss Teen Carolina, Miss Teen such as Carolina said this.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps.
Just stop there, sweetheart. You nailed it. They don't have maps. If you don't have a map, how can you identify the U.S.? she wins. She goes on into deep waters, such as the Iraq. And I think, that was 2007. And in 2025, people were cheering on defunding the Department of Education. Holy crap, have we gotten stupider? Well, anyways, got the kiddos. Wish I could stay, keep being awesome. Thank you, Duffy. You keep being amazing. This jabroni thinks he lives in a democracy. I'm well aware that, such as the U.S. Americans do not live in a democracy. But, I also am aware of 99 being bigger than 1. So I don't know why we let the 1% dictate everything. And such as the U.S. Americans and the Iraq, such as in South Africa, I do this commentary, such as here on the YouTube, such as I believe that I am here to help you wake up to the fact that there's more of us than there are of them.
I personally believe.
I do too. I personally do believe. I personally do believe in this stuff right here. So welcome. If you believe in it too, then hit subscribe. Raise the federal minimum wage. This is a bit outdated. It should say to $66 an hour. Of course, we're going to tax mega churches, tax unrealized gains. Did you get gains? Did you guys see, what's his name? Something Ohanian? SpongeBob Ohanian? What's his name? SpongeBob Ohanian. They're talking about a California wealth tax only for 5 years. Pussies. Put the wealth tax in permanently. And this guy, I believe, co-founded Reddit or something. I don't know, SpongeBob Ohanian. And he says, we're absolutely going to have to figure out how our society adapts to a rapidly increasing wealth gap. It'll be required to preserve our republic. But the answer is definitely not taxing unrealized gains. You can't tax me. I only have $1 billion. These fucking nerds. We're going to tax you. And if you can't live off $1 billion, if you're crying about a tax, once you've cracked 999 million, you're living outside your means, puss. And we got some news to get into. There's cover-ups. There's more war. More war? Really? Such as? I personally believe. Did you guys see this? I don't even want to talk about this because it's just stupid. When the president is stupid, when you have a dumb president, there's not been too many times we've had dumb presidents, but in the rare occasion, was it Taft? Was it old Tubby Taft? Is that what they called him? Who got stuck in a bathtub? You got to be pretty dumb to not know you're too big for the bath, I don't know what his accomplishments were as president, but I just know if you get stuck in a tub, if you can't go like this, and figure out how wide am I? Okay, I'm not going to fit. Maybe I should take a shower. I'll invent the shower. I believe that's how the shower was invented. Tubby Taft, that's what his friends called him. Old Tubbs a lot. Old Tubby Taft went to get in the bath, got stuck, and his friend Bob Shower said, I'm going to create something where you don't have to lay down in the bath, and hence we have the shower. That might be a little inaccurate, but again, we're not here to, show off. We're here to talk about when you have a stupid president who says stupid things like this, such as the Iraq. Let's play this for you. Oh, shit, that was the wrong audio. Shit. That was the wrong audio. That was the other audio. That was the other audio. Such as the Iraq. Oh, my God. Good thing I got the, we're gonna have to skip that audio then. Whatever, turds. The Iraq. What? Where can I search this? We'll find it later. Around that time. What is it? 4 minutes? Whatever. It was this one, such as the Iraq.
Russia wants to see Ukraine succeed. Once
You see his face? He's like, "Then can you tell them to stop attacking us?" That Taft bit needs a lot of work. It's not really a bit. Appreciate you thinking it's a bit. I just came up with that off the top of my head. I know if you're usually tuned into Joe Rogan, anything somebody with a sense of humor says, you might think is like, oh, this guy must be workshopping a new bit. But no, none of this is written. Oh, even comedy's suffering under this regime, under this stupid morons regime. You know, when he appointed Joe Rogan as the comedy chief of comedy staff and the chief of podcasting, you know, we're all fucked. So yeah, you see that. I just thought it was funny that you know, people voted for him saying no new wars. He didn't start any. Well, we're like in the midst of, I don't know, two at least, right? Iran, and then we're pirating ships off Venezuela. What the fuck is going on, man? Like, I know they're hungry for oil, but my Christ. Okay, here it is. Here's the other audio. Here's Donald Trump standing next to Benjamin Yahoo. Benjamin Yahoo. Saying like, yeah, we'll. I know we're raiding the coast of Venezuela right now. No new wars. I know we're like pirating ships off their coast. We're just stealing their oil. It's crazy. But also we'll pick a fight with Iran too. What is going on? Why can't we have healthcare, folks? Why can't we have universal healthcare? Here is your president, not my president. Looking old as fuck, too.
Had a deal. If Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons.
If they will continue with
Yeah.
the missiles, yes. The nuclear, fast. Okay. One will be yes, absolutely. The other was, we'll do it immediately.
Mr. President.
Okay, good news. Good news for everybody. Maybe 2 wars. What the fuck is going on? All we wanted was healthcare, guys. Now let's get into some stuff I wanted to talk about. There's the news. That's all the news. Look at this. Somebody wrote this to their American friends. I hope I'm included in this. Dear American friends, we don't have CBS in Canada. We have Canadian networks with licensing agreements to air your shows. The 60 Minutes CCOT episode wasn't leaked or smuggled to Canada. It just aired at its regularly scheduled time because Canadian networks aren't subject to American government interference. We're not under a dictatorship. You are. That's why you didn't see it, and we did. Hope that helps. Merry Christmas. My God. That's depressing, right? It's depressing. Here's some other stuff. Hi from Australia. What's up, Australia? How's it going in the land down under? You guys are having your summer right now. That's cool. We're having our winter. I love this. People always like to show off how uneducated they are because my healthcare shouldn't have to get worse so that I can pay for yours. Your healthcare, if you're in America, isn't good. It's not. It's some of the worst in the world. Americans' health or life expectancy has declined. We pay more and our life expectancy has declined. And we already pay taxes. Why don't we get anything out of that? Why do we only get wars? So, you know, this is the problem that I have to point out to a lot of people. A lot of people, like the tomato guy in the comments, is very selfish. So he thinks, ooh, if we have universal health care, then I suffer. What he doesn't realize, no, that's corporate propaganda that you've been lied to. You know, these insurance companies make a lot of money doing nothing. They just use AI to deny doctors' orders. They don't provide a service. The insurance companies do nothing. They're like a middleman in between you and your doctor and your healthcare. So they don't provide anything. They're not the ones helping you. You don't go to them when you're sick. In fact, they just say yes or no, and you pay a ton of money into them. I personally pay 70% of my paycheck into this, which then I can't afford my copays. But just so you're aware, if we had billionaires pay their share, if we had all the wealthy people pay their share instead of the tax cuts that Donald Trump gave them, we could fund universal health care. We could easily fund it. We wouldn't even have to pay anymore. We could just fund it with, all the taxes I talked about before. Hold on, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? If we just tax megachurch, tax unrealized gain, tax billionaires, if we taxed all this stuff, we could have universal health care. And it would mean your health care got better. You would never have to consider calling an Uber instead of an ambulance. That's a very American thing. So I like to point that out because stop being so selfish. Stop thinking, no, I have to pay a ton and die earlier so I can have this measly health care that, is definitely not good and is definitely more expensive than the rest of the world. So again, I don't even understand your point. You could. Again, guys, if you're going to do billionaire propaganda, go to a different channel. Okay, if you're just going to bootlick and say no, they couldn't afford. We could. I've had billionaires. I played the audio of billionaires on this show where they said if all the companies paid the taxes that I paid at the actual rate, not with all their yacht deductions, Warren Buffett explicitly said you would never have to pay income tax again. Again. But it's okay. There's always people that gotta stomp for the billionaire class. We get free healthcare in the UK. Oh, I know. And people go, nothing for free. No, they just get services for their taxes. Taxes are meant to be collected so you get your country has a better welfare state. But people in America have been tricked to think welfare. Like if you have a good welfare state, that's good. Your country's doing well. But here in America, they've been tricked to think certain words mean all these horrible things. It's a meticulous, malicious plan by these right-wing grifters and right-wing think tanks to make words turn toxic. But I always tell people, watch Michael Moore's Where to Invade Next. He goes around Europe and he looks at all like their cafeteria lunches. He goes to their ERs. He talks to people who had just had kids. He goes to Italy and talks to them about their guaranteed vacation time. And he talks to all these different Europeans to try to give Americans a glimpse as to how other people live in the world. Because a lot of people that I've talked to from other countries think it's a joke that we think we're the land of the free. It's a joke. Nothing's free. In fact, it's the most expensive. The only thing that's free is, the government subsidies that like Elon Musk gets. So you got your Gordon and Wood. Long bong with the deep reference. Holy shit. Oh my God. Long bong. Good to see you. Oh my God. So, all these people, these losers, I gotta put some of them in a timeout. Hold on. Some of these people need a timeout because they were raised wrong. I love the people that also, I hate that I gotta do this every stream. Like I'm gonna start ignoring the chat in a minute. I'll address Christopher when he says free healthcare is not as good as you think. I'll tell you what, free healthcare is better than losing your home because you got cancer. There have been people in my chat, people in life that I've spoken to that have gone into medical debt so severe that they've lost their house because they unfortunately got cancer. So your statement, again, people come in here all the time and say shit like that. Free healthcare isn't as good as you think. It's better than losing your home to medical debt. Okay, are we clear? God, you people have been propagandized so hard. Americans, stop defending the status quo. I'm imploring you, stop. Just stop for a fucking minute. My God. My God, you guys, you got to stop defending it. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break from these motherfuckers. They're bumming me out so bad. They just want to defend the billionaires all day long. And I say, fuck you. Fuck you. All right. What were we going to do for news? That's what I wanted to show you. That's what I wanted to show you. Not that. Sorry. You need to read and learn something. Fire Lord, you need to read. You fucking moron. Oh, hold on. Hey, Fire Lord God, he thinks he's so fucking cool. Why don't you read this book? Let me take off the filter so you can see it, you prick. Don't come into my thing and tell me I need to read because I want people to have healthcare and insurance and get rid of the insurance. Fuck you. Fire Lord, you need to read this, buddy. This is proof of times throughout history and in America where all these things I talked about worked. Universal basic income, open borders, 15-hour work week, universal health care. Times that it worked. But you just want to stay ignorant to all this because you're a selfish prick. A selfish prick. He's a selfish prick. I want to talk about this French thing. Where is it? Where's my French thing? Oh, Did you guys see this? This is the Russian newspaper today before I get into the France thing. America no longer, this is from a Russian newspaper. America no longer sees our country as a threat. The U.S. leader's philosophy is closer to the values of Russia's president. Not the politicians of the old world. He sees Europe as a liberal stronghold that must be destroyed. That's horrifying. That Russia's like, we got the American president on Russia's side. And for all you people that, tell me, why don't you go to Russia? You like communism? Well, Russia isn't communist. They're a dictatorship. And it turns out America is very much like the Russian dictatorship. Here we go. This is what I want to talk about. Oh, Russia. Well, shit, then it must be true. You don't understand what that means? That there are people in Russia going like, look at the president of the United States actions. They align with Russia's. And for the people that think, oh, then that's reassuring. Russia ain't going to fuck with us. Oh, that's what you think it means? Are you adorable? You think that's what it means? Or do you think they're like, oh, he's a fucking patsy for Russia? Like, we got the U.S. over a barrel. You understand that, right? I mean, we all saw it with our actions when the president was begging Russia to interfere with the election. Do you remember that during the Hillary Clinton campaign? Where he said, Russia, if you're listening, we had the American president begging for Russia to do its hacking, teddy bear hacking or whatever the fuck it's called. What a simp the president is, begging Russia to interfere with an election because he couldn't do it on his own. He's not man enough to do it on his own. He needed Russia's help. And now just in the Russia papers, they're saying, look, the U.S. philosophy, the U.S. leader's philosophy is like Russia's president. You know anything about Vladimir Putin? Have you read any of the stories about all the dissidents he's poisoned? It's not like a good philosophy to have. Destroy any kind of opposition. It is what he ran on. He wanted to criminalize, lock her up. He wanted to lock everybody up except for, his buddies. He doesn't want to hold these people accountable, but everybody else, Ugh. And before we go into the French thing, I want to show you this. This is old. I've shown it to you before, but it's a good reminder. My husband and I were talking last night about how a 12-pack of drinks is $9 now, and how in 2020 I used to buy them 4 for $10. I decided to go back on my Walmart app and see what I was paying for a random grocery order. In January 2020, I paid $70 for 30 items. Sounds about right. I added all of them up in the cart again and repurchased them today. Those same 30 items were $165. It's a $95 price increase in 4 years' time. That's 135% greedflation. We can't go on living like this. I can't be the only one who feels this way. And then you guys voted, not me, you guys, some of you, voted for Donald Trump to fix this. And in day one, he said, I can't do anything about that. He could. Kamala Harris was talking about regulating these corporations so they weren't price gouging us. And for all the people, this makes so many different points. One, Donald Trump has done nothing to help with groceries. He does not care. He didn't even know about the word groceries. And number two, he called affordability a hoax. But number two is you see the price jump up 135%. Nobody's getting paid 135% more. You know where you can see these prices increase? CEO compensation. Compensation because they'll take a low salary so they can take stock values. In stock buybacks, those were illegal till 1982. We should outlaw them again. Anybody who believes in the working man would think so. Because they were illegal because companies, instead of reinvesting in the company, would buy back their own stock, preventing or creating scarcity. It's an artificial inflation tactic. So the people who get compensation in the stock or dividends, and I'm not talking about you Wall Street bettors, I'm talking about the real dividend holders, BlackRock, the people who don't need it, the Walton heirs. That's where all that money goes to. You could just look up the record profits of corporations these past 10 years. And you'll see. So the money goes somewhere, not to the employees. So for all those who make the argument, oh, do you want things to, if you pay people more, do you want things to cost more? Things were 135% more in 4 years, and no employee was making even close to that much more. And I bring this up because I was looking through the memes today, and I saw something about how France has a law that bans food waste. Essentially, they worked into their regulations that instead of, you'll see Walmart or, I don't know, do we even have any food stores? There's like one grocery chain. It goes by different names, Albertsons, Publix, Vaughn's, Stop and Shop. It's like, really, we have like 2 fucking grocery stores just with different branding. But instead of them throwing all this stuff away, they would work out deals to, go to food banks or to help whatever shelters were around, which only makes sense, But in late stage capitalism, they won't do it. They'd rather pour bleach on the food and throw it away than ever ensure anybody didn't go hungry, Their profits mean the most, so they got to keep that scarcity, keep those prices high. And France became the first country to pass a national regulation specifically against food waste in 2016. They did this almost 10 years ago. This is incredible. And I linked this story down below. What does it say? Okay, so the question for those in the US is not only could we implement a similar law here, but how could we collaboratively create the expectation of doing the right thing for people on the planet? The French law evolved from several years of workshops and policy proposals as part of the National Pact Against Food Waste, started in 2012. And again, this was in 2016. And I didn't even believe this when I seen the meme. So I started Google and AIing. Well, Google just gives you AI now. But it says yes, they they made this groundbreaking law, mandatory donations. Supermarkets over 400 square meters must sign agreements with charity to redistribute surplus foods. Ban on spoiling. Stores are prohibited from deliberately spoiling food, pouring bleach to prevent donation. Non-compliance can lead to substantial fines or even jail time. Now that's something you don't hear about in America. Isn't it funny how in America you hear people say, you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. But somehow that doesn't ever, ever, ever apply to CEOs, wage stealers. Wage theft is the largest theft in America. People who get killed on the job from unsafe circumstances. You never hear about when the Sackler family helped create the opioid crisis here in America because they were promoting it and doing it fully, like they fully knew that this was an addictive drug, and they said, oh, no, it's not that addictive at all. And none of them will ever even see the inside of a jail cell. So isn't it weird that some Americans think like, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, but they don't apply that to some of the largest committers of crime? So it's really refreshing to see penalties can even be jail time for these people. Because I think, listen, if you're going to live by that motto, that if you're going to commit the crime, you got to do the time, then that should apply across the board to even the white collar offenders. Bayer is sus too. Yup, Monsanto. So this applies to all unsold edible items from packaged goods to fresh produce. And the impact says increased meals led to millions of extra meals provided to vulnerable people, diverted tons of food from landfills, increased donations, over 90% of supermarkets donating by 2018, and to half food waste by 2025. We're in 2025, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Well, we're actually leaving 2025, but I was trying to find some more reports on this. I'm going to have to reach out to my French friends because I was trying to see if they made that goal, if they halved their food waste. And I say this because here in America, 1 in 5 children go hungry every single day. So programs like this, government regulations like this, can really benefit our communities. People who aren't hungry do better in life. That's science. What else? So yeah, here's some stuff that I just snapshotted for you. It spurred innovative startups to help manage food recovery logistics. That's cool. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. Then I was, looking into how Americans are so terrified of welfare states, but they have a welfare king. Most, a lot of these herbs that hate welfare states, they love Elon Musk, and he's a welfare king. He paid $270 million to get a special appointment into our government so he could get rid of all his competition, get rid of all the people who regulated him to make sure his things were safe, and also eat up all the government contracts and subsidies and tax money that he could. A little suspect if you ask me, but I was going to say, well, you voted for him, but you didn't. You didn't even vote for him, Americans. You didn't even vote for that illegal South African immigrant. You didn't vote for him. He just got appointed because he donated $270 million to Donald Trump's campaign. Zero Americans are... Oh, hello from Sweden. Hello. About to mention Sweden. Known for their extensive cradle-to-grave support, including universal health care, free education, generous parental leave, unemployment benefits, and high worker protections, fostering high quality of life and equality. high spending, broad coverage. France spends a significant portion of GDP on social benefits, offering broad social security, healthcare, and family support. Germany, Belgium, Italy, Spain prioritize social benefits with substantial government spending. India is doing a National Food Security Act, and China focus on basic living allowances like the Dabao for the most vulnerable, covering essentials. Uh, Everywhere in the world does it. Americans, because there's like 6 corporations that own all the media. 90% of the media that you read, see, or watch, or read, hear, or watch is owned by 6 companies, and they all benefit from, deregulations, extreme late stage capitalism, extreme mergers, monopolistic tendencies. And when they benefit from all that, do you think they're going to critique it or show you how the other side of the world lives? You think they're going to tell you about these programs that work and why when your local radio station reports on the happiest nations in the world? I remember we used to do that when I was in radio. They'd always give you the list. Oh, the happiest countries. And it turns out it's Denmark again. And then some American will go, that's because Denmark's small. They have a small population. That's why they can be happy. It's like, you fucking moron, shut your mouth. Oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry. You fucking moron, why don't you shut your mouth? Because you can implement these things on a much, much broader scale. There's other countries that do these things too. So it's absolutely possible. Stop being small and closed-minded. Broaden your horizons a little bit. What about Brazil? What about South American countries? Have you? Uh-oh. We got another non-reader. Have you got to read this book? About how the CIA and the uber capitalists, the Chicago boys with Milton Friedman, basically infiltrated all of South America, installed dictators like Pinochet, did the coups such as to do their unregulated capitalism, their ultra free market capitalism, which has led to why most of these countries are still recovering to this day. Why do you think we're going to war with Venezuela? Because they have a socialism oil field. It's a nationalized oil field. They have a nationalized oil industry, and they won't let big ExxonMobil and BP and all the capitalist countries come in and use their oil. That's it. If you want to know why we're doing it, that and the distraction from the old Epstein files. Nothing distracts like a couple of wars. Hey, what's up, Michael? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shock Doctrine. Read it. Thank you, Mary. It's a absolute Naomi Klein. What a queen. What a queen. Some of these people don't add much to the conversation. Trump promised us $2,000 socialist checks. Did he? Oh, the old tariff checks? The old, do you want your money back that we charged you for buying the same stuff? Does anybody believe you're getting them? Did anybody get your Doge dividends checks? Just so you know, when that money came during the pandemic, that wasn't Donald Trump. He made sure to sign his name on the checks, but he didn't approve that. That was Congress. Donald Trump, you should just ask any of his contractors how he deals with people he owes money to. Or you could just ask anybody who's ever dealt with him and he's owed them money. Maybe the Russian mob has a different story, but I wouldn't count on it. It's adorable, you are. Trophy Hunter's back. These people are ruthless, man. They just want to come in and go, no, America shouldn't have good stuff. America shouldn't have universal healthcare. It's so weird. And Trophy, who's Ranovic? Ranovic. Here's the issue with Americans. Trophy Hunter. There was a point in America where you could work as a cashier and buy a home and buy a car and fucking live nicely. That was the American dream, to work one job and live a life, not survive, live. And you're in here shitting on not only the American dream, but people who work. I believe, and this channel believes, and the people who support this channel believe, that one job should be enough. Nobody needs to go out and have to get a college degree unless they want to start changing how we work college. If college wants to be paid for by taxes, if college wants to have somehow it tethered to the amount of salary that you're going to get paid to what you're paying for that job, if they want to restructure college, then different story. And I thought Republicans were against woke colleges because they, taught you things. But don't ever poo-poo on anybody that works a job. I don't care if you're the janitor or, you're running numbers. The only thing I care about is if you're a CEO, because I want to know how you explain these $100 million contracts that you get, these $100 million compensation packages. I would like to see the proof of your work. I'd like to see receipts of how you earned that, Hearing Joe Rogan say, you don't want to be a CEO. You don't want to be a guy working 16 hours a day like Tim Cook. And I went, you think Tim Cook works 16? That's fucking adorable. Tim Cook probably is weighted on hand and foot. Private chef. That dude probably, some of these CEOs, and here's the thing, I'm not making this up. Go to LinkedIn. They're lunatics. Some of these CEOs, like the Starbucks CEO, he outlined his day. And it was like, get up at 5 and go to yoga, come back, take a shower, eat breakfast, and then I, work out. And then I have my first meeting around 10. It's like, they're not fucking working like a dishwasher, dude. They're not working like a mason laying bricks at 6 a.m. It's amazing the propaganda that you're fed. So those are the only people I'm suspect of. I want to see their proof of work. But please, Trophy, do not ever give people a hard time who are getting, going to work and creating this fucking economy that Trump wants to lie about. We have homeless veterans in America, but we bail out Argentina, right? I mean, it's amazing that they would cut Meals on Wheels. They would cut Social Security. Elon Musk will cut all these things that help all these people, Medicare, Medicaid. It's unreal. Red or blue equals owners. We, the people, workers, and consumers will always get stiffed. Until now. Camo pajamas. Adorable name. People are waking up. You see these bots and these Russian assets and these foreign actors. They're everywhere in the comments, And I tell them, hey, if you're not, just go post a short video. You don't even have to be in it. Just post a short video of your average American town. YouTube's free. You can go post the video. But I don't believe a lot of these naysayers, lack of creativity, these small, in-the-box thinkers who say, oh, you can't do that. Or, no, I don't want my stuff to pay for other people. I'm not too convinced they're even American. Just like you saw on Twitter, where all these MAGA American First accounts with 1 million followers turned out to be like in Bangladesh. It's like they're just making money, man. There's grifters, just like Tim Pool, infamous Tim Pool, who brings you the news every day. Turns out he was paid a lot of money by Russia. I wouldn't get I don't know, unless you're just okay with getting your news from Russia. I wouldn't be trusting him too much. And meanwhile, people like myself, like Valenti Videos, Hassan, The Majority Report, I'm trying to think about Status Coup News, some more news. We get a lot of hate, but when you think about what they're hating on, just like that trophy hunter dude, he comes into my live chat every single every day, to basically shit on Americans. That's all he does. He just wants to come in and say, no, Americans should suffer. They should have to endure a hard time. They shouldn't have, anything like the billionaire and the owner class has. And it's incredible because you know what I'm talking about, right? Like that story from France. We should not be throwing away a bunch of food. We should make it illegal for Walmart and the 1 or 2 grocery store corporations to toss away food when there's 1 in 5 kids going hungry in America every night. This is what we want. We want to tax billionaires, tax megachurches, tax unrealized gains. We want to raise the federal minimum wage, have universal health care. We want the people to not suffer. We want it to be, back when it was a single earner economy and people could buy a home, buy a car, and it didn't matter what your job was or if you're college educated. Companies used to pay people enough. They used to have pensions. They used to have these things. And then slowly over time, they make buybacks illegal. The CEO compensation skyrockets to sometimes Starbucks CEO makes 6,666 times the median worker. 6,000 times. Nobody works 6,000 times harder, especially when he outlined his day and it was like, at my first meeting by 11. What do you mean? How do you do those things without repercussions? Well, for instance, we here in Massachusetts, you got to show the people, first of all, because a lot of these people are naysayers. And then you have people like this, the guy who co-founded Reddit, saying no, you can't tax us. You can't tax billionaires. And how you start is the messaging. We want to tax wealth, not work. If you work, you should be able to survive or to thrive, not just survive. And the messaging is important because if this guy, a billionaire, and Elon Musk and Peter Palantir Eater, they're talking about a wealth tax for only 5 years in California to pay for all the Medicaid cuts. And these people are freaking out and they're all threatening to leave, which they're not going to. But first is the messaging. And the most important messaging is telling people, well, if you have $1 billion and you can't afford to live because of a tax, you're spending outside of your means. We're co-opting the corporate media's playbook. The corporate media, you probably heard them at some point, would say, well, if you can't afford a home or you can't afford to go on your vacation, then maybe stop buying avocado toast. And it was like, that's not fucking why we can't afford shit. It's literally not. So we're co-opting that message. And what we're doing is saying, well, if you have $1 billion and you're crying about a tax, maybe you're living outside of your means. What number of zeros do you need where you can be taxed? Is it 1 trillion? Once you get to 1 trillion, then you can afford a tax? Because this is insane. Any 100 millionaire billionaire saying no, you can't tax us. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't see you saying that when, working people are going to be taxed and we really have to budget. So it starts with the messaging. But then after the messaging, really what you want to do, hold on, where's my tweet? Here it is. What you want to do is get these things on the ballot. Here in Massachusetts in 2022, we put a millionaire's tax in. And guess what? Every kid that goes to school in this state gets free lunch, free breakfast. If you don't have a bachelor's degree and you want to get one, you can get one at free community college. All from a millionaire's tax. 4% millionaire's tax. I personally know people who are getting bachelor's degrees And I was like, why? And they were like, because I'm able to. It's free. I can do this. They weren't going to before. And now they're going to get a higher education. And that's a beautiful thing. That's Americans getting smarter. Anybody that would say anything against that is anti-American. This is why I don't trust these people in the chat that are like, oh, not with my money, not with my. It's like, you're anti-American? Shut up. We don't need to hear from you. Taxes should go towards the people, not the military and corporate tax funds. Agreed. The state has 39% more millionaires than they did before. So if you knew anything about history, you'd understand that in 2022, the millionaires, more specifically, the billionaires, they sent out pamphlets. I should have saved some of them. And on the pamphlet, it would say who this was paid by, and you could look it up, and it was these billionaire families. And they've done interviews since in the news because they all threatened to leave. They all threatened. They said, oh, if you tax us, we're leaving. And I was one of the only people who didn't buy the propaganda. And I said, yes, get the fuck out of here. Sell your homes, get rid of those Airbnbs, let the local communities down in Cape Cod have their communities back. You know, they come in and buy everything up and make it shitty. And there's no more little local quaint towns anymore. And I was saying, yes, please, they're going to leave. Oh, yes, we're going to get rid of them. It's going to be back to a working class city. We're going to have our small town quaint communities where everybody knows each other. And it's not all empty rentals, seasonal rentals. And turns out they didn't leave. In fact, we got 39% more millionaires. So that's adorable that you want to cite, ooh, the big slave plantation owners all left. Well, they might have left for a different reason. They might have left for a different reason. There might have been a war happening where people were not looking too kindly on the enslavers, you know. But if you knew your history, we've already been threatened with that, and it didn't work. That's why I say New York, California, implement a wealth tax. Do it. New York wants a 2%, California wants a 1% for 5 years, and all these billionaires are crying. And again, if you have $1 billion and can't afford a 1% tax, you are 100% living outside of your means. And we know you guys don't do anything good with your money. We know. We've read the Epstein files. Elon Musk, in it. Steve Bannon, in it. Donald Trump, all over it. By the way, scrubbed the DOJ, or Trump scrubbed the files. The DOJ caught with hands in cookie jar, deleted Epstein photos. The great thing about this article, which I linked down below, is there's some lawyer who's fought Trump in court, and he said, when you first released it, we downloaded everything, so we have the originals. And I love that so much reading this article. I love that they were like, listen, we know you tried to scrub it. You released your own face in the Epstein files, and then you tried to like delete stuff. And there's this one dude who was like, you know what? I knew you were going to do something suspect, so I downloaded them all. And then, did you see this? Coverup. Oh my God, look at those hands. Maybe it's measles. Did you guys hear about, hold on. This is terrifying too. Oh wait, this is funny. You're at the grocery store this weekend. You notice a small box of coffee is $12.99, eggs $4.29, your produce up 20%. Just remember the good news. Donald Trump is getting new marble armrests for the seats at the Kennedy Center. America is winning. I just put you in a good mood. Marble armrest. Did you see his tweet? Oh, God. Wait, that's not it. What do you think the makeup's covering up? Do you think it's that? You know, his hands are not looking the best, but maybe they're using makeup to cover that up. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Wait, where's the thing? Oh, here it is. This is also another horrifying thing about this fascist regime. Things I can't believe I'm doing as a pediatrician on a Sunday morning in December 2025. Triaging patients with fever and rash in my office parking lot to avoid bringing a child inside who might expose everyone in our waiting rooms to measles. And yet here we are. It's horrific. I don't know what measles looks like. Does anybody know? I've seen a photo, but Is it just like chickenpox and a little bit worse? Uh, oh, hold on. Trump's mysterious bruises spreads to his other hand. Um, all the people that were, because it's a cover up in many ways. You know, they're covering up his hands. They're covering up the Epstein files. But all the people who were complaining about Joe Biden, specifically this dude, old blotchy hands. He said, "What else haven't they told us? He was doing the auto pen with everything." Wouldn't we as Americans just want to know the health of our president? Don't we have the right? I mean, I think for the history of the presidency, we've usually had the right to know about our employee who works for us, uh, whether they're in poor condition or not. And it seems like they're hiding something. Ooh, hold on. Pink fur. Did you see the Elon tweet about the NYC new mayor? Yeah. But again, it's so interesting at what these billionaires will do to make people fear any kind of social progress for their communities, you know? And Elon is just a notorious idiot. He's known for just being a moron. Spots that itch. I had measles for 6 weeks as a kid. I'm 65. Best grandma, 2844. Appreciate you sharing that. Listen, and that's what I say to people who don't believe in like vaccines and stuff. I'm like, yo, just talk to the older generations. Ask them about polio. And they'll tell you. Oh yeah, they weren't listening to Joe Rogan saying, "I need to see a veterinarian." Never mind a doctor. I will forever think that's the fact that he was serious about it and it wasn't a comedy bit, because I feel like there's a good comedy bit in there about people who don't trust doctors, but they trust veterinarians. Like there's got to be some workings of a comedy segment in that, right? Because that was Joe Rogan's whole thing. Like he doesn't trust the doctors. How can you trust them? How can you trust these doctors? But he'll go to his local horse veterinarian and totally put his life in their hands. What? Oh, that's right. Logger crawler. Measles erases your immune system's memory of how to fight previous illnesses. That is horrific. And that, I would say, sets the stage for whatever's next and comes worse if we don't put science and trusted professionals back in seats that require that kind of resume. Best grandma. Both hands have veins to administer medication for dementia. Interesting. They must be pumping them full of it, huh? That's our doctors, FYI. I know. They specialize in animals. Well aware. I know. Do you not see the humor? That they won't specialize in the human doctors. I mean, they won't trust the human doctors. They only trust the animal doctors, which is fucking hilarious. I would imagine when one of those like TLC shows, those History Channel shows, come on, with the veterinarians, Joe's like, shh, 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 shh. I'm listening to the new medical advice. And they're like, this macaw has whooping cough. We need to give it 50 cc's of, this. And Joe's like, wonder if I could get my hands on that. I'm wealthy enough to. Joe Rogan's taking parrot medicine. I'm a lawyer specializing. Charlie Kelly's here. Of course, Charlie Kelly specializes in bird law. If you didn't know, we do have a bird law specialist in the house. I'd like to thank him for being here. We do have. Randomly, I was talking about macaws medication, so I'm sure Charlie Kelly has had to defend a few macaws before. It's one of them whooping cause. That was a great dad joke, Night Owl. Oh my God, that was so funny. And Charlie is in Philadelphia. Oh my God. You think people go to vets? Well, Joe Rogan did. That was the whole funny part of it, like Joe Rogan does. Oh man. Okay, whatever. By the way, did you guys hear? I played this the other day, but I just want to play it again. Donald Trump letting old habits die hard when he said, hold on, let's check it.
You sound so beautiful and cute. How old are you?
I'm 8.
You sound so beautiful and cute. How old are you? I'm 8. Dad, I need an adult. He's a real man. He goes to the vet. Okay, guys. The people saying that I'll take a vet if that's all there is, yeah, that's not what we're saying. We're saying you're a billionaire. You have all the money and all the access to the healthcare in the United States, and you say, I don't trust doctors, but I do trust horse doctors. And then people take you seriously. Oh, God. Oh. He goes to the vet because he's got that dog in him. Listen, McCheese. I'm sure DMX probably saw a vet one time. I know you're joking. I know. Ah, that is funny. Okay, what else was in the news? What else? You guys threw me off. Let's just go over this one more time. Trump named in the newly public. I think his behaviors are such a giveaway. Again, I want to play this audio for you.
Yes.
That's good. I'm fine. You sound so beautiful and cute. How old are you?
I'm 8.
Dad, I think the president's hitting on me. Oh. Yo, it's sad that people are still. I don't know if they're. I wouldn't say it's a brag. What's the opposite of a humble brag? An embarrassing brag? When they're like, I'm MAGA all day. It's like you support all the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking friends and co. That's weird. Okay. I don't know why. That's right in Trump's age range. He was like, you know what, you're a little old, but oh my God. I love the people that taking everything so seriously. Ooh, that one sounded good. Wee. Everything under the sun right now, mostly laws and taxes and stuff. Guys, if you're going to be... Oh, wait, not Dusty. Shh. Sorry, Dusty. Sorry, Dusty. I wasn't trying to hit you. I was trying to get... There we go. Dusty, come back tomorrow. My bad. I was trying to get all those guys around you. I'm so sorry, Dusty. I'm so sorry, Dusty. I'm so sorry, Dusty. I'm so sorry, Dusty. I'm so sorry. Why isn't this working? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Dusty. I didn't mean to, man. I'm very sorry. Look at all these simps. I have a friend who knows what the U.S. needs. His name is Mao. Yeah. Waiting for MAGA excuses. You just heard the gas station selling Hot Pockets $10. Well, did you guys see what? It was a bag. A bag of Doritos was like $6.99. That's fucking unreal, right? That's unreal. Oh God. Anybody start saying make better decisions, you're gonna get muted. Make better decisions? Listen, sometimes you live in a food desert. You have to buy your stuff there. $2.14 gas. Yeah, you can thank Venezuela for that. You can thank the Venezuelan war. I look at the tariffs and Donald Trump doing greedflation cover for these corporations. It's the greatest time for billionaires and big corporations. It 100% is. Donald Trump has let them run this guy, the Forever Friends, the Epstein Forever Friends. Do I still have it? I think I deleted it. We talked about it the other day, but Donald Trump has basically allowed corporations. That's why you saw those big donors at his inauguration. You saw all the titans of tech and all the titans of corporation, uh, all the big wigs, the billionaire class, all sit in front row. All was it Tim Cook? I know he calls him Tim Apple. Gave him the gold cube, the gold bar, and he's allowed them to do whatever they want, which is not good. If you're unemployed, it's not because there isn't any work. Just look around. A housing shortage, crime, and this is from, I think, the 70s, okay? This tells you, like, stuff needs to be fixed, and we need people to understand that. That's the most important thing. Because the right-wing grifters, the we are Charlie Kirk, those people, they give simplistic answers that don't make sense, take no critical thinking, but preys upon the fears and insecurities of the majority of the population. And it's an easy, simple answer, something they can digest. They don't have to think about. So they latch on to that, and then they wonder why I have to keep defending things as they get worse. And I thought my situation will get better. And it's not until it immediately affects them, which we've seen happen with MAGA again and again and again. And it's going to keep affecting them until one by one, they all have to understand that this Nepo baby, coastal elite CEO who bankrupted casinos, Donald Trump, who you voted for, not me, not my president, he doesn't care about you, and he doesn't care if you are affected. He's here to enrich his family and cut backdoor deals that are on the world stage. Most people will be ashamed of some of the stuff he's done. Instead, you just keep hearing him, maybe that's the dementia kicking in. But this is from long ago, so we need people to understand this. Just look around, a housing shortage, crime, pollution, we need better schools and parks. Whatever our needs, they all require work. And as long as we have unsatisfied needs, there's work to be done. So ask yourself, what kind of world has work but no jobs? It's a world where work is not related to satisfying our needs. A world where work is only related to satisfying the profit needs of business. Businesses only exist to make profit. The country was not built by the huge corporations or government bureaucracies. It was built by the people who work. And it is working people who should control the work to be done. Yet as long as employment is tied to somebody else's profits, the work won't get done. That's important to understand. Oh, here's Billy defending the owners. The owners work too. Right. They work 6,666 times harder than the people creating the wealth. I know what you think, because you just regurgitate with the mainstream media, with Tim Pool, with Joe Rogan, with these mainstream. And remember, Tim Pool is mainstream. He has a White House press pass. Joe Rogan, mainstream. Bigger viewership than, the nightly news. These are mainstream corporate fucking arms of the government. And Joe Rogan is very corporate. His Netflix commercials, his Spotify sponsorship, very, very corporate. I mean, the biggest corporations of the world, billion-dollar corporations. And that's all you're doing is regurgitating the things that they want you to believe. And it's sad. Every time I see it, I go, oh, that's really sad, man. Because our country, our communities, our people could be much healthier, much wealthier, much better off. But instead, people were sold on immigrant egg. I do not have more viewers than CNN. I don't even know how many. No, I do not. But again, my message of taxing the billionaires and taxing, not letting these corporate titans, these trillion-dollar companies offshore their money and siphon it out of our communities and control us with algorithms, that's not a profitable message. This is not a profitable message for capitalist America. This is a message for the working people to understand that you've been grifted, that you think you're watching different news outlets, but it's all the same owner, just different branding, different sparkly colors with letters and different fonts, but they're all owned by the same capitalist who wants you to stay divided, not understand that outside of this country there is working universal health care, that there are guaranteed vacation time, there is people who don't work to live, that they're not just surviving, that they don't have to have many jobs to afford egg, that there are programs like I showed you, the French one, where they regulated these corporations to not waste so much food. Here in Massachusetts, we put in a wealth tax and it's working. Free bachelor's degree, like this stuff you need to understand. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all the same. Just like the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, these are all the same. They are all puppetry. It's just puppetry. Different suited Nepo babies, telling you who you should really look towards for the issues. And don't you wonder why none of these issues have been solved over the past 40 years? Don't you think it's odd that if any of these people were right at any time, something would have been fixed? Don't you think it's weird that we've gotten sicker, our lifespans have shortened, and there's answers out there? Don't you think we should stop trusting these people if they continually lead us in the wrong direction? That's just me, Zen Ali, thank you, and good to see you, by the way. By the way, I'm so sorry, Dusty. I gotta say it again. I feel so bad because I feel like you're still here. I feel your spirit, man. Zen Ali, overpriced housing is what you get when billionaires are looking for ways to spend their passive income. That's right. When they have too much money, what are they going to do? Spend $270 million on an election. I'll buy a town. I'll try to make a corporate town. Tesla was trying to make a corporate town. A corporate town. What about the land of the free is that? We should be out. Everyone should be uproarious when Meta and Tesla owners say, we're going to buy a town and you'll live, work here. You can never call in sick because you live at work. And people are like, oh, genius. I look at all the lonely people. What song is that? People on here are still praising Fox News. Well, Fox News even got to the point, we've talked about it. Even Fox News has got to the point where they're like, we got to question this. Remember I played Laura Ingraham or whatever her name is? And she was like, the average home buyer is 50 years old. She was interviewing Trump. She's like, that's not good. And Trump was like, oh, yes, it is. It's actually very good. And we're implementing a 500-year mortgage. Even Fox News is like, all right, now this is getting a little. And when Fox News is doing that, what does that fucking tell you? Fox News is owned by Australian immigrant Rupert Murdoch, who is an absolute dickbag. Eleanor Rigby. Okay. I think you're right. Can't hear it in my head, but I think you're right. Taxing billionaires won't work. They have the funds to simply relocate. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have to do this again. They don't leave. Our state taxed billionaires, and none of them left. There was an article. I linked one article down below. There's articles interviewing them, and they're like, no, I didn't leave. They love it here, okay? You're not going to get the fucking sights and scenes and fucking stuff that you get in other countries. And if they are going to leave, by all the means, go to the Bahamas. Try to operate there, you know? Go ahead. Leave. If you do business in America, you're still going to get taxed. But I have to keep doing this because people always come in here and they go, they'll leave. And I go, no, we did a wealth tax and we got 39% more millionaires. This is living history from 2022. So it works, folks. So when you see those people, I didn't even catch his name, like that, go, they'll all leave, they'll relocate, they have the funds to. If they're going to do business in America, you're going to have to pay American taxes. We got to get the right people in there. When systems fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. We're going to replace this system. We're going to get people in there who are not going to be bought out. We're going to do a whole fucking clean sweep, a clean swipe, a clean wipe. We're going to do what is it called? A hard reset, where you can't have a certain income. You can't be this wealthy to go into politics. You can't be this old to go into politics. We're going to re-regulate it all. So we don't have this geriatric Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's daughter is an Amazon lobbyist. Like, this should be highly fucking illegal if you're going to try to represent people instead of corporations, which that's all they do, and they trade stocks on the ones that they do regulate. And normally people would be uproarious about this. Other countries have taken to the streets for much less. And here in America, you got people like debating on whether or not the billionaires will leave. Who cares? They provide shitty jobs. They provide bad jobs. And they don't guarantee health care. They don't guarantee paid time off. They don't guarantee sick time or vacation time. We need a structure fucking dismantling and rebuilding for the people, not to benefit the 1% of people. Last time I checked, 99 is bigger than 1. Why are we catering to them? And why is your mindset catering to the 1%? That's really fucking, that's what I don't understand. They can have the money. We keep the factories. I like that. Somebody's lying. New York didn't do it. And they didn't leave. And they didn't leave by the thousands from California. Tesla guy and Joe Rogan went to Texas. Oh, man. It's okay. I know that's all of the rich people, but... And I would imagine, you know, a lot of people were happy when Tesla dude left. Think about all the companies that he basically stole taxpayer money for. The Boring Company. Remember when he invented subways? Suction subways? I don't know what you call them. Yeah, brilliant move. He invented subways and then just left it in Vegas. I think there's one tunnel. The dude's a liar and a grifter. You know, these people are no good. They're no good. I don't know how to explain that. Man, it's sad how many anti-American people are here. You know, it's really sad. Uh, and I don't expect them that they're actually Americans. I think a lot of the naysayers in the comments are foreign actors, bad faith actors, like the Charlie Kirks. You know, Charlie Kirk propped up to advocate for what happened to him. Like he wasn't American. He was a fucking anti-American grifter. He hated Americans, especially if you weren't the same color as him. And now look at his wife, you know? And this is the toxicity that infiltrates the mass media that we need to really, really warn people of. You know, you need to be aware of that. Billionaires leaving isn't a big deal. It's not. I'm sorry. What has a billionaire done for you? I'd really like to know if a billionaire changed your life. There will be no. Oh, that's how it happened. Sorry. Sorry, Dusty. That's how it happened. The chat kept moving. And that's how I hit you. There will be no saying Charlie was a good person. He was a flat out racist. You know, we're in the year of our Lord 2025. You think Jesus Christ liked racism? Huh? Say, riddle me that, Joker. Oh, sorry. I muted you. Enabling a corporation to have a human right. By doing so, they can fund city and state elections. 1978. State law supersedes federal law. You have more power that way. 2014 Hobby Lobby's decision. Ooh, Miss Clementine. Are you in America? You should come on and talk to us more about that. Because listen, I'm not the most educated person. I do a lot of reading and I try to follow the money a lot of the time, but they're way, way smarter people than me. I just look at things from a common sense perspective, you know? Like let's take the Charlie Clan thing. You know, he advocated, I think I have a clip for it, you know, the Second Amendment thing. He's like, some gun deaths are just, you know, we have to have them. And then it happened to him. And it was like, we didn't have to have that. There's other countries where this doesn't happen. Like factually don't have to have it. So he advocated for what happened to him. So I just look at things on like a common sense level. And if his wife is mourning that, you know, instead of going on tour lecturing people about being in the home and raising their families right, even though she's not in the home while her daughters just experience the worst tragedy of their life, I look at things as why isn't she going around saying like we should be regulating these things better? You know, common sense shit. I know America doesn't like to do that because, you know, it's it could fix things. Oh, who taught you to talk that way? Your mother? You French kiss your sister with that mouth? Bud Tugley? My Christ. Oh my God. What regulations? I would look at what country has the least amount of pew pew things, and I would look just like here's how I like to think of things when it comes to this. Like our founding fathers, everybody likes to cite them as some glorified untouchables, right? And what did they do? They looked at France, they looked around the world, they said, what can we take from to build this great American experiment, right? That's what they did. So it wasn't just like them, they were kind of copy and pasting. I hate to say it. So what I would do is look around the world and say, who's got the greatest system working? And how does it work? And what can we steal from them? Just like Michael Moore's movie, Where to Invade Next. He goes to other countries and goes, how do you do this? How does this operate? How does this run? Do the working people like it? Does it benefit the communities? And he goes, we invade, we take that idea and we're taking it home. And that's the whole movie, what Michael Moore does. So that's what I would do. And we could look it up and we could find out, you know, where is it, where are the regulations working the best and the people are happiest? And I would say, why don't we try to take some of those ideas? It's a great big world, and you can really, you know, just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk said, I'm going to invent an underground tunnel so you don't have to deal with traffic. And people went, you mean a subway? And he went, no, 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 it's different. It's an underground tunnel with a tube in it. It's like a vacuum tube. And people went, oh, okay, subway. I love the people that are scared when I say Michael Moore. Billy's in here all the time. Michael Moore, like certain things scare these alpha macho skibbity rismas. It's so funny to me. Like they're terrified to to possibly learn something. They're like, I know everything I've needed to know. Oh my God, these people. All right, I got stuff to do. What does that mean? Defend the tax is the increase in the number of millionaires by net worth rather than considering annual taxable income. Defend the tax. I don't understand what you're saying. Zen, you also got to look at what is the root cause. Well, I think we all know the root cause. It's impossible to get mental health help. It's, you know, the suffering when it comes to healthcare, people that ration medication or go without or have to work super hard when you're overworked and underpaid and you get no guaranteed sick time, no guaranteed vacation time. When you're dealing with survival constantly, when there's 1 in 5 kids going hungry in America, when there's a housing shortage, even though for every single homeless person we have 25 empty homes, like those are all the root causes. That causes stress. Poverty causes stress. When you're constantly in survival mode and working and you can't get out of debt while you watch a gilded age of, you know, robber barons get wealthier and wealthier and not have to have any accountability. You know, that's the other thing. When you're watching people who are just getting away with stuff all the time, you know, no accountability. They commit crimes, oh well, they get to be president. You know, their best friends and named in this trafficking ring cache of papers, oh well, they just get to, you know, go to war with other countries. These are the causes. These are the causes. That's it. Yeah, this dude, he just comes in here all the time. Fucking loser. If you protect them, I think you are one too. Well, you know, the old saying, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, flocks like a duck, might be a duck. Yeah, you know, but that's the whole GOP, guardians of the PDFs. What are these people? I don't know who that dude's threatening, but like, your parents raised you wrong. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. We're wrapping up here. But hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh my God. Avalex. Just doing my taxes now. My health insurance for my family of 4 was $26,000. Yeah, Alex, I encountered the same. That's why when people are like anti universal health care, and then you talk about other countries and they go, oh, they pay a high tax rate. It's like, never mind our tax rate. Do you know how much we're paying outside of taxes? The health insurance is taken with taxes taken out. So you're taxed on that. It's insane because they take 70% of my paycheck, 70 to 80% of my paycheck for health insurance. And then at the end of the year, I'm on the hook for money that I didn't make that went to my that went to the insurance companies. And it's so much more than if we just had health insurance. It's insane. And people always forget to uh, take that into account, that you're paying for this thing that you don't even get to use. You're just paying to have it. We're paying in America just to be in the healthcare club. That's what the payment is. Because then you have copays, you have deductibles, you have, all these other fees, prescription fees, it's insane how this is set up as rigged. Of course, it was a heritage foundation, the people who brought you Project 2025. It was a right-wing think tank that set this up instead of universal health care. And it's a grift because anybody could look at this and go, wait a minute. That's how I explain it to the young people. I go, imagine if you joined a gym, right? You're paying the gym fee, but then you go into the gym, you want to go on the treadmill, and they go, no, 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 that's $50. And you go, what? I pay the membership every month. Can't I just use the treadmill? And they go, no, there's a copay to use the treadmill. And then you go on the treadmill, and then you get off and you go, okay, I'm going to do some bench. And they go, have you met your deductible? And you go, what do you mean? They go, well, have you been paying to use stuff that meets a $5,000 deductible? And you go, no, of course. What are you talking? What the fuck? No. And they go, well, then you got to meet your deductible if you want to use the bench press. That's the healthcare system. You're paying that $26,000 just to be in the healthcare club. It didn't get you anything. It didn't do anything for you. It didn't make you healthier. It just made you join the healthcare club. God damn, these people are so fucking dumb. I've been getting healthcare for myself for years. If you're under 26 and don't understand what I'm talking about, this is why I'm trying to explain it to you. Another 9K plus for HSA. Yeah. And I love the people that go, my insurance is only this much. I don't know what y'all are doing. These are real scenarios that if you can hear and think, oh, that must be your fault, and not understand that we're in a system that most people experience this, you're looking at it wrong. This is what I try to get people to see every single day. That if you go, oh, well, I'm fine, but then there's a health insurance crisis happening in America, you might be checked out. You might be dissociating from the country you live in, and you might be not helping us to get to a better place. If your take is, well, I'm cool, because if something changes for you, maybe you're getting subsidies. Maybe you don't even know it and your premium's about to jump up. You might be, on your state healthcare and only paying that much. I know our state healthcare jumped dramatically after the pandemic, so it kicked a lot of people off. But, this is where it's the MAGA FAFO. They have to wait to find out. $9.75 a quarter, and that's the cheapest available. So that's about what the other person was paying, right? 1,300, well, just over what they're paying. My anecdotal evidence, it's not. I'm telling you what I experience, what other people experience. I'm telling you what is happening. And when other people go, oh, well, I'm good, I'm saying you're in the minority. So it's like the majority of people are not okay with health insurance in America. This is not like this is what I mean. It's like, are you guys not understanding this? American health insurance is some of the worst in the world. We pay the most and we die the soonest. Like, this is not a new concept, and you guys are acting like, oh, well, I only pay this much. And again, what you're talking about is you only pay that much to belong to the club. You're not even telling us what your deductibles are, what your copays are, how much, you've had to spend just to access it. And this is what I'm saying. It's a dumb concept that you're telling me I only pay $200 a month to be in the healthcare club. That is a fucking crazy concept. This is what I'm trying to get people to see. That it should be, we pay no money to be in the healthcare club because we pay taxes. And just like the VA is set up to use taxes to have a national healthcare system, and other countries do, that's what we should be. We shouldn't be bragging about how little you pay just to be a part of the healthcare club. You don't get to use it. You get maybe one visit, one physical a year, right? You get one physical a year. But other than that, would you say almost $200 a month times 12, that $2,400 was paid just to an insurance company, just so you could be in the healthcare club, and you're bragging about that. Do you understand what I'm saying now? That you're bragging about paying $2,000 a year to be a part of a healthcare club. It didn't get you anything. $2,000 a year for one physical? That seems fucking nuts to me. But the majority of people aren't doing it wrong. This is what I'm telling you. Hi, do you think American healthcare is good? Like, this is fucking bananas. This is absolutely bananas. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing right now. You're like, no, man. American healthcare is notoriously well respected across the world. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe that's what you're trying to debate. Like, no. The American healthcare system is pretty fucking awesome. That's why we have a lower life expectancy than every other country, and it keeps declining, even though we as a nation pay more. Okay. Yep. Interesting. Okay, guys. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tomorrow we'll debate it more. Peace.